Kissables? This is the Kissable Diva, thanking you for tuning in to Kissable Nights, where we discuss everything love, sex, and relationships after dark. Remember to tune in every Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. If you have not been listening to the show, this is our fourth show. If you want to listen to any of our previous episodes, you can catch us on SoundCloud, Speaker.com, iTunes, either one of those, and you'll be able to catch either of the shows. Our last show was Dating in Your 40s. It's a pretty good listen. So go ahead and give that a listen, and you can go to our focus group and put your input on that show. This show, we are talking about what he's thinking. We have the opportunity to have our first male, Mr. Andre Sawyer, who is a dedicated father, divorcee. He's open to settling down again one day, and he also loves spending time with his children, especially his youngest son, whom is autistic, and he basically likes to enjoy life. Thank you so much for joining us on our fourth episode, Mr. Sawyer.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Awesome. So today's show is talking about what is he thinking, which a lot of ladies like to know. And we always ask you that. What do you think about that when we say, just randomly, what are you thinking? Like, what comes to mind?
Me? I'm thinking, what was she thinking? I'm like, my goodness. Well, a lot of times it depends on what's going on at the situation. It depends on the situation, right? Mm-hmm. So if it's I don't know, if it's an argument or whatever, what have you, it would vary, but I guess it depends on what the situation is, right? Because a lot of times I know when I'm asked a question, I'm not really thinking about anything, and I'm just in deep thought. I'm in my I'm in my just in my own little world, right? And so a lot of times but it really depends on what's going on.
Okay, so most of the time you're not even thinking about anything. You're just,
It's just a moment of peace.
Moment of peace.
Right?
Okay.
It's a moment of peace. But again, it's situational, right? So it really depends on what's going on, or was there a heated argument between she and I?
Right.
Something like that. But other than that, if I'm just staring off into the clouds and we don't have any issues, then that's just what it is. My head is in the clouds. I'm at peace, and just some kind of time you just kind of turn within and just meditate, if you will.
Okay, that's understandable. So here's the situation. Say you're out. You don't necessarily have to be out with your fellas, with the fellas or whatever. But say you're out and you see someone, and she comes in with her girls, and you may admire her. What is the deciding factor that makes you want to go and speak to her?
Her confidence, right? So, and it really doesn't matter for me. And, and I know I speak to a lot of other guys. Sometimes it really doesn't matter what that girl looks like. And I've seen it on both ends. But let's just say this is an average person. She's not a video vixen. She's just an average person. How that woman carries herself in terms of the confidence that she exudes, how she speaks. Let's say if I heard, I'm just from afar and I'm hearing her speak or whatever, I very well may want to go ahead and have a conversation with her. Because if she looked like she's a winner, then I want to be part of the winning team. You know what I mean? Or have her on my team, whatever. So, so anyways, that's some of the things that draws me to women.
Okay, so she's there and she's exuding this confidence, and she has your attention. Do you kind of steady her? Besides the confidence, do you steady her a little bit more, or you're the type that says, you know what, I like her swagger, I'm gonna go over there and say something like.
If I'm compelled to do it, I will definitely go over and say something. I have done it before, right? And I'm not normally that type of guy, right? I'm normally the shy guy. But honestly, there have been women that I've come across where I actually will make the first move. Hey, how you doing? My name is Andre, and whatever. No. Sometimes it may be corny, but that's okay. but I'm breaking the ice. I'm saying something. But yeah, my goodness, if she's exuding that type of confidence, I will definitely absolutely walk over and I'll say something. I will make that first move and see where things go. See where things go.
Awesome. So say you meet a young woman, or say you approach this young woman who has this confidence, and the conversation is going pretty good. I know that you're already a father, that you have children. Would you? I'm pretty sure you probably wouldn't, but would you have a certain reaction if she had children as well?
No, I wouldn't care if she actually had children. My ex-wife, of course, had, she had one child as well. So, yeah, it certainly would not have mattered to me. Me being a family-oriented person, and, my mother, of course, she has 8 children. So any man that met her actually met her with a with a football team already.
Right.
So, so that's what I grew up with, and so that's something that I'm used to. So no, it would not matter to me. At the same time, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go finish.
I was going to say, but obviously at the same time, it would certainly depend on what's going on in her life with that kid's father. I mean, how involved is he? I mean, it doesn't have any bearing on me whether or not he's not involved. But if that relationship is over with and they're actually grown up about it, then yeah, sure, I'm all for that. But what I'm not in for is foolishness, right? So so if they're in a good place, it's not obviously want to take on anyone's foolishness, but otherwise, yeah, I'm all for it.
So going back to the situation of you seeing this confident woman, what if she comes over and asks you to buy her a drink?
So what you don't want to do, what a lady would not want to do when she approaches a guy is immediately, hey, like, let's say, don't immediately ask me to start buying things for you, right? Especially if we're in the club, right? And we're meeting, don't immediately do that, because what I learned, if you do that, then now you're going to that's what you expect to happen. I very well may do it. And I think as a gentleman, I very well may even offer you to drink, but don't you make that first move. Don't tell me what I'm going to do. Don't tell me I'm going to buy you something. Because I think that just sets wait for the offer. Let's have a casual conversation, which lets me know that you're really interested. You're not approaching me because you want something, right?
Right.
And stuff like that. And you obviously don't want to approach a guy and give him the impression that you are that you're a gold digger. Hey, baby, just saying like crazy stuff, because a lot of times women, I've spoken with women before, and the conversation is, the conversation is like high school, so.
So say a woman asks you out on a date. Would you expect her to pay, or is that something that matters? Like,
it doesn't matter. No, if a woman asks me out, all right, so it's twofold, all right? I'm going to be real with you, right? Well, first of all, if you ask me out, I am going to pay. I am going to pay. If I ask you out, obviously I'm going to pay. Me personally, I wouldn't want a woman, especially if I'm just mean, I would not want you to buy anything for me, right? I'm not, right? I'll do it myself, right? However, I don't see, and I guess this is all about expectations, right? So if you ask me out, then you should, I think, right? Because this has just been my experience. I know a lot of people may not necessarily agree with this. If you make that first move, then you should actually pay. You should anticipate on paying. You should anticipate on paying. You should anticipate on paying, and as a man, I'm going to do it. But you shouldn't be surprised if you then end up coming out of your pocket. All right. I get it. Chivalry and all of that is great. But relationships are two ways, right? And I think a man feels more appreciated if he knows that the woman who's interested in him is actually interested in him, as opposed to interested in what he can do for her. Right, all of that will come, but you really want to show that, hey, listen, I can handle my own. I really don't need you per se. That's a whole different date, but I really want to get to know you, and I'm even willing to take you out. How about that? Let me take you out. No,
Okay.
keep your money. But again, when we get there, I'm going to pay for it, and I think a man should definitely pay for it.
Oh, okay. Well, that's refreshing to hear, and I think that I totally agree with that. That if she does ask you out, be prepared to pay. There are women who are quote unquote alpha women who don't have a problem with paying, that will pay for the date, and will pay for multiple dates. Because it's not a stigma for them to go ahead and pay for the date. But I think that is very chivalrous of you to pay for it anyway. A lot of men aren't like that. A lot of men say, hey, if you ask me out, then, you paying for the date. You got it. So, there's definitely, different levels of how people feel it should be as far as paying for dates.
Mm-hmm.
So what about women that are, say you've had these couple of conversations, you've gone out on a couple of dates, you think maybe you may be feeling this person.
Right.
Let's say this person is a bit quote unquote clingy. How do you deal with that?
Don't do it. If you that is the fastest way to get rid of a man, is become clingy. Unless that man is into clingy things. And most men aren't, even if they think that they are. You don't want to be clingy. You certainly want to because you want to continue to sell the dream, right? Which is basically what we all do when we meet somebody, right? We're selling we're selling ourselves, and we know 9 times out of 10 it's going to be something totally different. But you want to continue to sell the dream, right? So don't be clingy, because I'll tell you right now, that is the number. Which one? All right, we're gonna go on this date, but you're gonna start getting that voice message. You're gonna start getting hit with that. Yeah, I'm with the fellas tonight. Yeah, I'm sorry, because clingy isn't good. It's a number one deterrent for a lot of men.
Wow. Okay. So clingy isn't good, which makes sense. A lot of women kind of do, or some women kind of become clingy or more involved than the male counterpart may be, or the other counterpart.
Which is different, though. Being involved is one thing. Being clingy is different. I'm okay with the woman letting me know that she's engaged, right? In terms of she's engaged and she's really into me. You can do that, but without being clingy. So give a man his space. Let him go hang out with, his friends. I wouldn't, you don't have to be in their presence all the time. We all know absence grows the fonder. It makes the girls fonder. And that just simply means that, hey, listen, that's one of the reasons why when you don't work with your spouse, whatever, you come back, you got so much to talk about because you haven't seen each other, right? You all together and you all cleaned up. Well, sweetheart, I know what your day was like because you was right behind me. It's just, so you want to be able to keep things exciting and be able to share different experiences in terms of, well, how was your day, right? Without necessarily being clingy. Involve something totally different.
Okay, so clingy. Give me examples of being clingy.
Oh man, so I'm about to go and hang out with my fellas. Oh, but you got to be there too, right? Or you want to know where I'm going, you want to know what time I'm coming back. You're blowing up my phone, you're blowing up my phone every minute. Hey, you coming? You want to, and this works obviously on both sides, on both ends. You want to give your partner space, right? You want to give them some space to do what it is that they want to do. Okay, like it's to me, I kind of like, for me anyways, when I go on vacation or anywhere for that matter, like if I'm going to the movies, if I go to the if I'm going to a cruise or whatever, the first thing I want to do, and I'm enjoying this place so much or whatever, but the first thing I can't wait to do is get back home and reflect on that experience. Right? So the same thing happens in a relationship. You want to be able to break away. It's okay. We're having this roller coaster, but you want to get back and be able to share that experience,
Right.
as opposed to continuously just being all up under somebody.
Mm. Oh, well, that's a really good insight to experience being with that person, but then having that time away to reflect on it. Like, I didn't know y'all
Mhm.
did it. Okay, that's good to know.
Well, remember now, I don't know who else do it. It's my interview. I don't know what these guys.
But it
If they
makes sense though. It makes sense because I know a number of men that don't like the clinginess. They don't like that. And from, speaking with Miss Jackson, I don't know if we recorded it, caught it on tape, but she was saying, not make yourself so available for him. You know what I mean? And so the chase, right?
Mhm.
You really like the chase.
Oh my goodness, we love a chase, and I love to, I love, being able to actually chase someone, and then finally actually getting them, because the thrill is actually not in the thrill is actually in the chase itself, right? As
Mm-hmm.
opposed to sometimes you finally catching the actual prize, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because to be frankly honest, at the end of the day, we're all pretty much the same. This is kind of why you see these so many celebrities, they'll end up getting divorced, because once a person gets with them, they realize there is not really anything to this,
Mm-hmm.
right? There's not really anything that different from this person, be it Holly Berry or some of these other women who can't, they're beautiful, right?
Mm-hmm.
At least that's what the world say. They're so beautiful, and how is it they can't keep a man?
Mm-hmm.
Because the thrill was in the chase, right? And
Mm-hmm.
then once they actually finally get caught, you realize again, there's nothing to this person, right?
Mm.
There's nothing to it, right? Um, so yeah, so definitely give chase. All right,
Okay.
don't always be available. Definitely don't always be available.
All right, that's cool. So, what do you think
I,
about?
I call you and you always available. I'm just gonna think that you don't really got that going on in your life.
Okay, that's good to know. So, what about you're the same woman that you met that approached you with this confidence, or you approached her, either way. What do you think about sex on the first date, or would you rather that also be in the chase as well? Would you like to get to
So
know the person more, or what?
here's the deal. It depends. It depends. It depends on really how that date is going. If it's a bad date, I don't want sex on the first night, because chances are this is not going to happen again, right? I'm telling you real. I'll just take it, because I'll take it as a consolation prize.
Mm-hmm.
All right, because something good is going to have to come out of this night. If I like you, me personally, if I like you, I will resist having sex with you on the first night. And this is exactly what I did with my ex-wife, right? I remember going over to her house, and we worked together, so she knew me. So it wasn't like I was a stranger or anything like that. And we're feeling each other. And now we started to, I'm coming over the house after hours now, so I can show up to the house. She has on 90s, right? And I don't think she had on the underwear. She probably did not. I don't know. You can tell. But anyways, she was laying on the couch or whatever, and I know that she wanted to. I know that she wanted to, or she was willing to. But then me, I said, no, I really like this person. I mean, I really liked her.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I resist the urge of having sex, because I knew if I had sex with her, then that was going to be it, right? My mindset, I knew that would have been it. And then I'm going to think to myself, oh, damn, I kind of had sex with her on the first night. Who else you having sex with on the first night?
Mm.
You know? And truth be told, is a lot of times when when dudes come, we have sex and we come,
Mm-hmm.
the excitement, as for anybody, right? The excitement is gone,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Something to actually continue to look forward to, and just really have this awesome freaking this I don't know, intimacy with her, as opposed to sex, not sex, but intimacy as an into her, into me type
Mm-hmm.
moment with we did that. And then I wanted the sex itself to to solidify everything that we had gone on with. And this is exactly the way I did it.
Mm-hmm.
She asked, I remember I was leaving one night. She was like, because things were getting a little heated. And I literally got up and I left. I'm like, all right, I gotta go. And she's there with a negligee on. It's not that we were making out or anything like that, but again, we're laying on the couch. There was, I kind of felt that I could have did it,
Right.
then, especially if I come over the house, you got negligee on, listen.
Mm-hmm.
But, I'm thinking to myself, no, I really want this, and I really want it to be different. So if you can resist, and this doesn't hold true for everybody, it's not a blanket statement, but
That's
I think
true.
you can resist having sex on the first night, if it's somebody that you actually want to have a long-term relationship with,
Mm-hmm.
then do it. If you're just dating, if you're like a serial dater and it doesn't really matter, then yeah, sure, go for it. If it's a bad night and they want to try to give you sex and you don't have any intentions of seeing this person again, have sex, use a condom, be safe, have fun, and make the best of it. But if it's something that's serious, yeah, I honestly would resist the urge or the temptation to do
Now
it.
that's the first time I heard a male say that they would resist. I mean, most males would be like, "Oh, I would have had respect for her had she not allowed me to have sex with her." The first night. They don't really say, "Oh, I really wanted to resist because I really like this person." That's like the first time I've ever heard that.
Mm,
I mean, I've probably seen it done, but I've
you know
never.
why? Only because, and not again, I don't know, a lot of guys are different, but only because of me, because I know me and I've been there, done that type thing. So I knew how I am as a person. I knew what the outcome would have been had we actually had sex the first night. My interest probably would have peaked right there at the time I was, you know, so there is nothing else, right?
Mm-hmm.
There would not be anything else, but I really wanted to make something of that relationship.
That's awesome.
And I did, because she ended up being my wife.
That's
So it
awesome.
was.
How did you know that she was the one? Like, how did you know? Even though that you took the time to get to know her and you wanted to be more involved mentally with this person, but how did you know she was the one?
You, in terms of, how do I know in terms of getting married? She was so different from anyone else that I had actually been with. She was a nurturing person. She seemingly had the same goals, and everything that she did evolved around her kid and making a better life for her child. She wanted things, and she was such a go-getter. I kid you not, this woman was the driving force of our relationship, because anything and she does this to this day. Anything she says it, as opposed to just speaking, you know, just speaking out of term. She really wants to go and get it, and she was such a go getter. And I'm like I was saying early on, I want to be part of a winning team, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I what my mindset was, and she was like on the same page.
Mm-hmm.
There was no way in the world I was going to let that walk away. You know what I mean? I really wanted to be part of that.
Awesome.
So after she showed me so much of herself, and showed me where she was, let me into her house, let me into her life, I wanted to be part of that.
Awesome. So, is there really a difference between having chemistry and being compatible? Is there a difference between those two?
Yeah, there is a difference, because we can be compatible. We can be, all right, we're together. But chemistry, oh my goodness, chemistry
Isn't it beautiful?
is it's so magical, right? I
Mm-hmm.
mean, and I'm going to be honest with you. This is this is a conversation I really shouldn't be having on this. All right, so fast forward, I end up getting divorced from from said wife, right? I ended up getting a divorce from my ex-wife, but and largely in part because someone else, and we can debate on whether it's right or wrong or whatever, but this other person, the chemistry was crazy. It was like freaking fireworks. Honestly, I felt like a schoolboy, right? I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, I'm in high school or whatever, and I had never experienced that um prior to, I'll be frankly honest, prior to that experience. And I don't know, sure, maybe it was, the thrill of doing something different with somebody different or whatever. But it continued. It never really died down. The chemistry was unparalleled to anything that I had experienced before, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my wife and I were compatible because we were on the same path in life in terms of kids first, wanting a better life for ourselves, kids, and things of that nature. So we're compatible. Hell, our birthdays a day apart, right? Mine's July 13th, she's July 14th, both cancers or whatever. So I guess when you look at it that way, we were compatible and we were good, but the chemistry is what I found out was missing. Right? So what I then later discovered is that, just being in a relationship, everybody knows this, right? Being in a relationship, I later discovered, after so many years, my reflection, what I realized is that I don't know if she and I had a life outside of our children, our house, right? I know that we would be places our conversation was almost non-existent, right? So if I'm sitting somewhere quietly and you ask your opening question, well, what is he thinking, right? I never got that, right? I never got that question. I always ask, my goodness, I'm sitting here and I'm looking off, just floating off, and I'm never asked, what are you thinking? Because the chemistry wasn't there, I guess. Maybe we get into we get complacent. We take it for granted. But I really wanted to be asked, right? Because I was actually in deep thought, and I am a thinker. So that chemistry was definitely missing, right?
Interesting. So would what would be your definition of chemistry?
Oh, wow, that's so odd. What would be my it's really hard because it's hard for me to describe it because it's, for me, I guess, apart from just being compatible, oh man, how do I describe that?
You wouldn't equate that to lust, would you? It's much more than that.
It's much more than lust. It really is much more than lust. When you can lay in the bed with a woman, for me anyways, we don't have to have sex, right? We don't actually, this particular person, we don't have to have sex. We'll sit there, we'll hold each other. And it felt like it was perfect. Right? So it's definitely, it's even more than just sex. It was so much more than that. We actually had what I felt was a spiritual connection. And I'm talking about, we had a deeper connection, even more so than my wife and I had. My ex-wife and I had. We had a connection. It was like, and even during sex, there was a point where I felt like, honestly, like when it was over, I felt like I went somewhere, right? I felt like we told a story, right? And we went up and I came back. And that was, honestly, it was like the first time that had ever happened. It was like, wow, that was so, and it kind of then made me realize why sex, is one of those sins that everyone's just like, oh, you don't do it, and it's like it's the breaking point for everybody, That type of connection with the person was just unbelievable.
Awesome.
Yes, I hadn't
had it
before.
Go ahead.
No, that's just it. I hadn't had it when I was married, And so that's what it was.
I totally agree with chemistry. Shouts out to Male Translations podcast. That's where I got that question from. He was talking about how he would rather be more compatible than have chemistry, which I totally disagree, because I feel like chemistry is more than quote unquote lust. It is more of a deeper spiritual connection with that person. And
right.
You, to me, chemistry allows you to open up yourself a little bit more to experience more that you've never
Right.
experienced before.
Right. I think I don't know why it would have to be a binary choice. I say we have them both, right? I
Oh
mean,
yeah, you
so
can
I
have it
guess
both. Absolutely.
yeah, we should be able to have them both. And I don't even know if you would want to have one without the other, right? So we could have a chemistry in terms of, because a lot of people, you have good chemistry, so that means if you're not compatible, then chances are what's going to happen is you're going to get together, you're going to have great moments. Okay, you're gonna have great moments, but at the same time, you're not really compatible. So you're gonna go to your corner, I'm gonna go to my corner.
Mm-hmm.
All right. If we have great chemistry and we're compatible, yo, we are a match made in heaven. All right. And that's
Mm-hmm.
gonna actually keep us. I think you should actually have both. I think somebody who you're just compatible with, and that sounds like a business relationship. All right, well, we good. We got our goals together, and that's fine, right? That's
Yes,
cool.
yeah, yeah. If that works for
We get
you.
to get to the house. We go on with our daily lives. But chances are he or she will end up being cheated on because somebody is going to pique somebody. Somebody else is going to pique somebody's interest, right?
Right.
Whom of which they have chemistry
Right. Right.
with. Just my
Absolutely agree. So, um, do you have like any, a story or something that kind of, we talked about, how to approach a guy or, make sure you exude that confidence about yourself. We talked about paying on the first date. We talked about, chemistry versus compatibility, or you can even have both. We talked about not being so available. So many things about. I'm appreciative to have a male's point of view of, what is it that you're actually thinking, and the fact that, you were in this relationship and you actually kind of wanted, to be engaged and asked, what are you thinking? You know what I mean? So do you have any like stories that, something that can reflect on our topic today?
Let me see oh my goodness, let me see any stories that actually well, no, I think my stories would actually be for definitely for another show, because they're really salacious, to be honest with you. But I will tell you this: in any relationship, be it man or female, one of the things that I did was, apart from, and I know we hear this all the time, but it's honestly, Rebecca, it's so true. You really got to know who you are, right?
Mm-hmm.
You really got to know who you are,
Mm-hmm.
before you are able to even open yourself up to another person.
Mm-hmm.
So I think people should really take the time out to, and people say, oh, yeah, I know me. I know me. No, you don't. Here I am. I'm 41 years old, and I'm just discovering some things about me that I did not really know or even understand. Um, in my 20s and because I kind of learned them, in my late 30s, but early on in my adulthood. So you really want to take the time to know yourself, take the time to spend time with yourself, show up at places, by yourself, right? Because when it all goes right, because love, even if you're in a relationship, love, it comes in and out, right?
Mm-hmm.
That lust that we have, it always comes in and out. It'll come in and out, and you can't stand her, she can't stand you. And what you need to be able to do is love yourself, so you can actually weather the storm and know that it's all going to work itself out. But the thing about it is you really want to know yourself, so
Mm-hmm.
that you're able to survive some of the trials and tribulations of being in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my advice. Really get to know yourself.
Awesome. So thank you so much, Mr. Sawyer, Andre, for coming on the show and giving your
Well,
male point of view.
thank you for inviting me. I appreciate it. This was a lot of fun. You really got to bring me back.
Absolutely.
I knew, I was a little nervous at first, but I think we kind of opened up in the end. But I believe in me, I got a lot of stories that I could share. So, bring me back on.
I'll
I appreciate
absolutely
it.
bring you back. I absolutely appreciate you coming on. And Kissables, this discussion does not end here. Please go to our Facebook page, Kissable Nights podcast or Kissable Nights focus group. It's all open. You can join it and start that conversation. Give your input as to what you think about, from a male's point of view, any of my men listeners out there that are listening. So make sure to tune in to us on it. We're on Google Play, tune in. We're on Apple. What else is it? Apple, we're on Speaker, we're on SoundCloud, all of those outlets. You can catch our show Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. This is the Kissable Diva, thanking you for tuning in to Kissable Nights, where we discuss everything love, sex, and relationships after dark. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys, and remember to keep it kissable. Good night. Woo! Yay!
Oh, that was fun.